Welcome to the UFC Apex. This is our new facility that houses the UFC Contender Series, the Dana White Contender Series, as well as a production facility that is in the midst of being finalized to become a state-of-the-art production facility that allows us to produce live and taped content and deliver it around the world. So this is our lobby of the UFC Apex. This is the way the public will enter in. The entire building is 130,000 square feet. It's broken into really 4 different areas, which I'll take you through now. So we'll go take a look. So this main hall is a tribute to our reality show, The Ultimate Fighter, which, as you know, ran from 2005 to 2018, 2 seasons per year. So there's this show holds a special place in our heart, and this was our tribute where we have the coaches' jerseys from each season, from season 1, which was Team Liddell versus Team Couture, all the way through season 28. The Ultimate Fighter was, as the story goes, in the early part of the past ownership. The Ultimate Fighter was a show that was created to try to reach the masses and get people and fans introduced into MMA. I mean, the sport was, at least in the United States, was still such a baby in terms of the development and the reach to the masses and the sports fans in the US, that the old owners thought, well, we need to come up with a way to reach these fans other than just putting on fights. The answer was, let's do a reality show, 12 weeks of having 16 fighters living together in a house and fighting each other on each episode, at the end of each episode, and find out who the one fighter is that's going to continue on and get a contract into the UFC. And we did. It was so successful, we ended up doing 28 seasons of it. Yeah, the most successful season was this one, Team Rampage versus Team Rashad. In terms of total viewers in the US, it probably doubled the second best season. So Kimbo Slice was also featured on this season, and it did incredibly well in the United States, where it was pulling over 4 million viewers at one point. Globally, it did incredibly well too. So heavyweights are always a draw. Kimbo Slice was a big draw, and we had 2 great coaches with plenty of animosity between the 2 of them, and it made for an incredible season. The most memorable season probably was the season Ronda Rousey coached. She's just a juggernaut in terms of her ability to just the charisma she has, her fighting style, her competitiveness. She wanted to win that season, The Ultimate Fighter, maybe more than any coach in 28 seasons. So that one sticks out. I mean, all the challenges, everything she was part of in that season was her, and it was Miesha Tate was the opposing coach, was fierce. That one sticks out for sure. The Ultimate Fighter each season shoots for about 38 to 40 days. So shooting virtually nonstop, with crews coming in and shooting everything in the house, everything at the Ultimate Fighter gym, which is a few miles away from here. No longer obviously under our control. Now that we own this facility, if we were to do Ultimate Fighter again, it would come here. But it's a pretty extensive shoot to do a reality show for 12 episodes plus a live finale. You're shooting constantly, and you've got a wide range of crew that are on it, story producers, you name it, that are working on the show for months prior to, as you get into casting, all the way through the post side after the 40 days of shooting has wrapped. So and to do 2 of those a year, it's 26 episodes if you count the live finales. Half the year you're airing the show, which means the other half of the year you're producing the show. So it was a year-long journey for 28 episodes. A lot of work behind it. So this is the UFC arena that's part of the UFC Apex facility. This houses the Contender Series. As you'll see when we walk in, it's set up for the Contender Series and live fights. It's about 20,000 square feet of arena space, 40-foot high ceilings, all of the equipment, all of the lighting, all of the cameras, including our JITA that's flying in the sky there from the ceiling, all was custom built for this space. So all of the trussing, as you see up there, is all custom designed and measured for this arena space. Up top there where the glass is the VIP suite where we can bring our partners. Dana's guests will go up there and watch the fights. We'll go up there in a bit. It's a pretty cool perspective to see the fights from that elevation. And it's incredible to be able to move from the old Ultimate Fighter facility, which really was just a warehouse that we made work, into something that is custom built for fights and really designed perfectly for what we do. So everything from the acoustics in here to the way the power is routed. You can see on the floor here, all of this cable trough is built for us to route all of our cables, camera cables, all of our power underground so that no one's tripping over cables. It's really, really dialed in to a point where it's become a turnkey operation when we put fights on in here. So each season of the Contender Series is 10 episodes. They start usually in June, and we run for 10 weeks with 2 off weeks. So usually over a 12-week span, we'll get our 10 episodes in. So UFC Embedded, which we do prior to each pay-per-view, comes out of the UFC production department. We produce that, and we've been doing that for a number of years. It's a digital series that just follows the fighters leading up to a particular pay-per-view, and it's become expected from our fans and from media to see what the fighters are doing as they prepare the final few days of fight week. So that show has done incredibly well for us, and is something that even a lot of the UFC employees are kind of clamoring to see, well, what's the next episode going to be and what's going to transpire between Tuesday and Wednesday of fight week. And the beauty of that is the quick turnaround. So each episode, you're seeing what happened the prior 24 hours. So it's an incredibly quick edit on that show. And we're following sometimes up to 6 fighters in different locations. So a very edit intensive show to get 8 minutes that actually make some sense between 6 crews that are around shooting with a variety of different fighters and camps. Our job is to give the fighters the platform to show off their skill and their personality. And when you talk about storytelling, showing off their personality is what we need to do. We need to tell a variety of different stories in a variety of different formats to allow fighters to come across to fans in a way that they can relate to. So we try to do that in a variety of different forms, whether it's embedded or features that we're producing prior to their fights. And then it's up to them to fight and compete. That's when our job is done in terms of storytelling. That's when our job kicks in on the live event coverage, which we also do. So we produce, obviously, all the live fights are produced by the UFC production team as well. But in terms of storytelling, it's critical. It's vital to what we do and the success of the company. For a live event, we have about 100 to 120 people that are working on an actual execution of a live event. That includes our pre-show, the weigh-in show, the actual fight, and the post-show. And then we truly have a global team because our sport is truly global. A lot of sports, I think, claim to be global, but we not only have fighters from all over the planet, but we also put on fights all over the globe. So we truly are global, and over the years, we've just developed a good crew in different territories in multiple countries. And as we're going to go, visit Alistair Overeem, for instance, we'll find some local talented producers and shooters that we've worked with in the past that we like, that know what our expectations are, and we'll work with them. Or, depending on what the project is, we may send our crew that might be LA or Vegas based out to them. So this is our warehouse space, another about 25,000 square feet of unused space that we use right now for storage and staging of our equipment. But this space is really designed for us to expand as we start to bring in more and more work into the facility that's both UFC related and non-UFC related, may not even be combat sports related. We have the ability to take over this entire space of this warehouse space and build more studios should the demand warrant that. And then the studio is also another area where we can allow third parties to come in and produce a variety of different programming that you would put in a traditional studio. So this is, audio better be good in here, because we spent a lot of money making sure acoustics in here are perfect for our desk and information shows. So news and information, which are desk specific, will be housed in here. So we will do some of our pre-shows in here. We'll do some post-shows out of here, maybe even some weigh-in shows. We'll do our gambling show, UFC On the Line, will be housed out of here. And this literally just got finished last Friday. This is Dana's green room. So this is where Dana will sit with the matchmakers and deliberate after the fights to determine who they're going to give a contract to into the UFC. So this is just a comfortable space where he can review footage, talk to the matchmakers, and really have a conversation about how they want to bring certain winners into the UFC. As if you watch the show, some get developmental contracts, some come right into the UFC, and this is where that conversation takes place. This is the private garage attached to this green room, so Dana can pull in right here and head right into his space and not have to, it's all connected, so he has ease of convenience of being able to come right from his car into his green room and then right onto the arena floor. This is just another one of the studio spaces where it's currently set up so that we can do post-fight interviews with the fighters from Contender Series in this space, so they come right off of the arena floor. Someone from Lene's team brings them to this location where our talent also connected right off of the arena floor. Really easy for the fighters in their camps to come right to this location. After they're done with their post-fight interview here, they come right through this door and they go directly to their locker rooms. Again, they don't have to go back out into the arena where the fans are. They can come back of house here directly to their locker rooms where they can shower, also go to any medicals and get checked out. They do that actually prior to getting into the locker room, but this is the path that they take so that they don't have to be bothered after the fight with fans. There's plenty of time to do that after the show's over. I showed you the VIP suite area that was from the floor. This is the actual suite area, so comfortable space for any of our partners or Dana's guests can come and hang out and watch the fights. It's a pretty cool perspective from up here to be able to see right on top of the fights and be this close, which you don't get in a typical arena. So we had some fun with this space, building it out and making it a real custom spot for fans to be able to be really comfortable, be able to have some drinks, and then also be able to just be right on top of the action and see the fights from an elevated perspective. So this is, obviously they got fans going in here, but this is the Broadcast Operations Center. So this entire hallway is filled with 4 different control rooms, a machine room, 2 different audio rooms, a master control, and an engineering room. Space. So this is where we will ultimately cut a hole out of the set design, and you'll have visibility onto the arena floor from here. And this is where our DJ will be, our in-house producer for the in-arena show. Our lighting director will be housed up here, our technical director. So this will be just dedicated to the team that's going to be producing what the live audience will see inside the arena. We really, I mean, I say it a bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's the truth. We're incredibly spoiled to have this kind of facility. I mean, we went from, I started in 2005, and there was one editor that we had on staff, and that was it. And kind of just made do with what we had. And to have a facility like this that's custom built for us, with this kind of ability to expand and flexibility, and to have the technology that's going to be in here in 2 months is kind of mind-boggling.